Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Let's Stay Gamers, and welcome. So today we're taking a look at another beautiful ship from the Steam Workshop. Now, this is a heavily modded one, known as the Mantis Mk-6. Now, something that attracted me to this design, it was a little bit unusual, not something that I would usually go for, but it really helped me inspire one of my personal builds as of recently, so I thought I would show you some of its features and give you a little bit of a feeling of what this build is all about. We'll start by looking around the exterior, and then we'll pop inside for a quick look. Now, it has some quite functional features, as well as a few features that are a little bit unfunctional as well. So right up at the front, we've got this beautiful glass cockpit, and there's two of these, so you've got like a backup one, or you could have one as a command center, so we can just pop in here with the actual camera itself. We'll continue around the exterior, but I just had to show you this because there's this massive glass window highlighting its beauty. Now, up at the top and bottom, we've got spotlights, and on the side, we have the devastating railguns. Now, they can tear apart a ship in seconds, but that is not it. As we creep along the side and move past the maglock, are these really cool little airlock things that stick out and then clamp on to the other airlocks, we actually have this very tidy rocket package. So you can see we've got 3 rockets either side, so 6 in total, and underneath, if that's not enough for you, we've got a Gatling turret, and that is nicely hidden behind this little bit of shielded armor to add that little bit of cool firepower. And it's also vented at the back, so you can imagine maybe rapid rocket fire would cause them to overheat and it would come out the vents at the back. Now, as we move up to the top area here, we've got the second cockpit, antennas on both sides, so this could be the main cockpit in my opinion. You can see we've got the AI core there in the center, and if we just work a little bit further back, you can see how it's been recessed, and we've got these vents up at the top that just create this really nice sort of feeling of immersion within the actual design itself. Now, moving down the side, we can actually see that we've got some very vulnerable cargo containers on the side. Now, in a realistic sort of sense, if you're carrying all your supplies on the outside of the ship, you're going to become very vulnerable to pirates, and pirates are going to want to rip these off, try to hack into the side of them, maybe grind them down, grind them back up, and you're just making a vulnerable situation. So just above them cargo containers, we actually have 2 defensive turrets, and he's covered the ship in quite a number of these. Now, what makes this pretty useful is that these will deter fighters from getting close and doing that impact damage, and these rapid fire Gatling turrets you can see here will definitely do a good job of that. As we work our way back, we've got this really nice piece of design engineering. We've got 2 sage thrusters at the bottom and the top here, and what he's managed to do is integrate the shape of this turret. You can see how he's outlined the shape of the actual screws on the side and the platform itself to make it really look like it's actually part of that ship and it's not just strapped on the side, and that's adding that extra bit of firepower for when you're engaging at the front. Something about this ship that I think is really important is he's really focused all his firepower on like a point sort of defense, so he's planning on aiming the ship and firing it rather than using the point defense weapons along the side. So as we work into this area, this is quite an interesting little bit. We've got some more point defense turrets, and the armor actually lays itself up into these blasted thrusters. And what's been cool about these is added a little bit of armor on both sides, so to protect them from incoming rockets and fire from these angles. That I think is absolutely perfect and definitely necessary. Now, something that I love as well at the back here is he's made this little docking area. You can see we've got the dock little port here, we've got 2 magnetic locks, and below we have the connector as well, so you can connect up supplies, unload, and continue on with your mission. So as we work our way up on top, you can see we've got this massive oxygen farm supplying the majority of the ship's supply of oxygen. We've also got a little bit of a solar farm here. Now, there is batteries inside as a backup power source, and something that I really like about this design is when you look at it up from this angle, how it looks really smooth. You've got that divide in the engines at the back, separating them 2 cells. Very nice indeed. But let's get inside and have a look at this beast. So let's begin the interior tour of this ship. Now, something that's great about this is he's made a lot of entrance and exit points all over. You can see little maintenance shafts here. We've got a maintenance bay towards the engine, so the Titan thruster in here can actually be repaired from that little hatch. But we'll hop inside here and I'll just show you through the various corridors. We should be entering from one of the maintenance rooms. So open that, close that one behind me, and we can come in through here. I've left a few doors open just to make the tour a little bit quicker. You can see we're in just this small airlock. Going up there, we have access to a different deck. I'll just pop up and show you. So this will take us to the main deck that I really want to actually be on. And in here is the front reactor room. So on both sides, we have a large reactor and one of these blast doors protecting us from possibly that hazardous sort of radiation. Maybe they could do that in a feature in the future where you actually have to have your reactors locked away, maybe behind a shut door, so they don't actually damage or injure you. I don't know, just throwing a few ideas out there. So now we're actually entering into the main hangar. Something that's great about this is there's a lot of access points for connectors. You can see up at the top as well as there, and they've also mag locked a lot of the maintenance bays. And say you have a ship that docks in this particular maintenance bay and you come towards this hangar area, if you pop this door open, you'll actually see there's a cargo container stored behind here. It's a nice little idea, and it keeps the door covered and stops the cargo container being damaged by accident from ramming if you are bad at docking your ship. So as we leave the hangar, we enter through the airlock into what I believe is the main control room. Now I believe this is the main control room because it has this large pillar in the center with this AI core mounted. And just looking around this room, he's used the blocks really nicely to create this interior. You can see he's also turned some control panels upside down, and he's put a little bit of lighting in the necessary areas, and he's not overpacked the room with control panels like some people do, and I really dislike. Now we've also got a maintenance hatch here to the lower level. You can see down there the maintenance deck. That's always great, so you can drop down there, run the length of the ship towards the back. But let's actually start heading downstairs to see what's going on. Now heading further down these decks, we actually have a first little room here. That is a suit room. So say you're going outside, you need to suit up, and if I just pop this door open, you'll see we depressurize and we walk onto this initial front part of the deck. But let's keep going down into the lower part of the hull. So we're going through here, depressurizing everything as we go. We enter into this little zone here. So this little zone is probably a backup sort of command center. We've got the jump drives on both sides, as well as a mixture of nice sage desks. You can pop this little hatch open, see what's on the other side, and it looks like it's just a storage crate. And dropping down here, he's just used all the blocks really effectively to create these rooms, and he's made them light so they actually feel like the deck of some sort of starship. So continuing on, let's actually pop down a floor and we'll see what's here. It looks like we've got the living quarters. So we've got some food, we've got a large screen monitors and some decks to sit in, as well as beds. So if I pop this open, what we're going to actually see, so we've got the planet behind these really nice blast doors. I like the idea of that. Keep that crew deck safe, close that up behind us. We have an airlock up here at the front. That leads to a maintenance shaft and to the front of the ship. But first off, let's have a quick look at the crew quarters. You can see he's used a lot of these interior sort of blocks to create that effect that I quite like. Then we've got some more bedding space, as well as a space sort of Starbucks, some coffee, build your own sort of coffee, whatever you want. Now heading up to this side, what have we exactly got here? We've got this same, and we've got another window that's going to probably open just to empty space. Very nice indeed. Let's head through one of these little airlocks. We'll close it up behind us, and you can see the ladder on the side of this one is angled, so maybe in the future you could climb along that. Bring back ladders, please. So as we enter into this area, we come down a further deck. We're actually getting into some rather interesting areas. We've got the cryo chamber room here, and if I come up a deck as well, we've got a second floor of cryo chambers. Let's head on to the next deck, dropping down. Now there's a lot of space I feel in this ship that has just been used very well. Now I have to say this is probably one of my favourite rooms. We've got the Gatling turret in the centre, and he's created this sort of look with these vials, so these all look frozen over. Look at that, look how cool this cryo chamber room looks like. And if I open one of these side doors, we've got an airlock, and we've also got another frozen space engineer in the side, but I think that's just a suit storage, and this will pop us open into space. Very nice indeed. Very good for when you want to discard a crew member that's been in cryostasis. You just put him in the airlock and discard him out the side. And we've got the second command room here, so you can quickly go into a cryo sleep and then access the command room when you wake up. I really quite like that feature. Let's head down the next level and see what's there. So here we believe we're on the maintenance level. I could be wrong about this because the levels seem to go on for absolute ages. No, we're actually at the lower hangar bay. I didn't expect that. So we've got the maglocks down on the floor, and we've also got the control room there that we'll head over to. So if I just pop through this next airlock door, close the other one up behind me, totally lying, and we're in that second control room. Now this one's got a glass floor, very nice, and the ramp is actually beyond that other airlock out there. But this is the maintenance shaft that runs the length of the ship. So you can continue through here, and every now and then there's these blast doors here, so maybe an area has been cut off, lost oxygen, you can seal one of these doors up behind you. Very Star Wars-esque, I do love that feature. And we can continue going down right to the bottom floor of maintenance. That's this run-through sort of corridor. So now that we're actually back up at the bridge, let's take this thing for a spin. Now I'm the only guy on the bridge, and luckily one man can operate a ship and all its functions like that. If space engineers in the future required multiple crewed ships, that would just get very complicated very fast. Let's have a look at the acceleration that we've actually got here. Acceleration is accelerated very fast. What's our deacceleration like? Very fast as well, so that's perfect. Our maneuverability is a bit slow left and right for a sort of ship that needs to focus all its fire. You can see that was the railguns firing. We've also got the rocket pods that we can fire as well. Very nice indeed, blasting away in front of us. And we've also got the Gatling guns that are one of my particular favourites. Let's zoom in there and see if we can get a bit of Very nice. Simple little effects. They need something a bit bigger, don't they? They need to make them sound really beefy and meaty rather than that simple old Gatling gun effect that they've actually got on them. But they do a lot of damage. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Check this one out in the description below. It is a great piece of inspiration for your own build.